So I've always appreciated when someone who is trying to teach me something that is lengthy and complicated first gives me some pointers as to how to best maximize my learning experience and retention of the information that's coming my way. So that is the purpose of this lecture. I do realize and understand that different people do learn differently, but there are some general constants here that will apply to every sort of learner, regardless of what sort of learner you yourself are. First, material of this nature is best learned, retained, and becomes a thing from which one can extrapolate by doing it, by practicing it. Think of yourself as an optimization doctor. Just as a doctor of medicine practices medicine, so too must you practice optimization. And the best way to apply this principle to this course is to practice the different optimizations discussed as they are discussed. So, for example, Section 3 of the course deals with baselines and benchmarks, what those are, how to use them, and the tools you will use to establish them. As I discuss these tools, go ahead and stop the lecture when you see me exampling something, and using the tool being discussed, replicate what I'm doing in the lecture. Once you've done so, feel free to return to the lecture and then move forward. As another example, Section 7 of the course deals with render blocking, CSS, and JavaScript, what those are, and how to fix them. As you see me exampling solutions to these problems, again, stop the lecture and practice applying them to your own website. Second, I very highly recommend you do your initial doing, your first practicing, on a test website or in a testing environment prior to applying what you're learning to a live, trafficked, monetized, making money already production site. And the reason is simple. You're an optimization doctor, yes, but it's best to consider yourself an intern as opposed to a fully licensed doctor of optimization. So just as a surgeon must first practice on a cadaver before they're allowed to operate on you to remove your appendix, so should you practice on something where you can't kill the patient. Thirdly, and as someone who is semi-addicted to their own iPhone, I do understand the impetus to want to use it for everything, including taking this course. But, and to be frank, doing so would just be silly. You're going to be manipulating your site's source code, your theme's functions.php file, copying and pasting code snippets that I will be providing, navigating within and altering things in your hosting account, etc., etc., etc. So no matter how nimble your fingers are, using your phone for this course leaves you very susceptible, very open to making mistakes that cannot be easily backtracked on or even identified as mistakes until significantly after the fact. This is, of course, setting aside the fact that the size of your phone screen simply does not lend itself to a course of this nature. I would actually argue that very few courses on this or any similar platform are wisely taken out of telephone, smart or otherwise. But that's my 2 cents on them. Take that information as you will. But at any rate, you're really going to want to use, for this course, at the very least, a large screened tablet, with a laptop being better than that, and with a desktop computer being ideal. If all you have is a smartphone, that's one thing. But if you have these other better suited options available to you, a laptop and especially a desktop computer, please do use them.